Okay, important video, because this may be why you've stopped losing weight, even though you're intermittent fasting and even in ketosis. All right, I'm gonna give you the two big mistakes. Number one, you have to determine your eating window, or I should say your fasting window, right? So everyone just kind of reads on something on the internet like, okay, fast for 18 hours, 20 hours, 15 hours, whatever it is. The fact is it's a little different for everybody. So I'm gonna give you a tip here with the first big mistake is how to figure out your eating window, because isn't that the question? Well, what you wanna do is, first off, if you don't own a keto meter, go to getketomojo.com. I'll provide the link here for you, and get a keto meter like this one that actually has glucose strips and ketone strips. Because what you wanna do is you want to measure your morning glucose and ketones, and both of them, and then right before your first meal, what you should see is your glucose dropping and your ketones rising slightly, but that should happen if you are fat adapting correctly in your fasting and eating window. Okay, let's say that's not happening. Then what you want to do is you want to expand your eating window, meaning fast a little less until you get more fat adapted. And by the way, you might have to drop your carbohydrates for a period of time. And I do a lot of different videos on this, but you might want to do just periodic days where you fast longer and then days where you actually eat more. I call that diet variation. You can go to my website at drpompa.com and you can watch a lot of videos I've done on diet variation, because that's a way to become more fat adapted. But until you become more fat adapted, meaning very efficient at burning fat, then you may want to lengthen your eating window. That's the time that you eat in and fast shorter, okay? Until you start seeing the glucose dropping and the ketones rising. If you don't see that, okay, you might want to shift your whole window. So if you're skipping breakfast, maybe you do the opposite. You eat breakfast and make your window, say your first meal's at, say, 9 o'clock, and your last meal is at 3 o'clock. So you stop eating sooner, shift when you eat. And lastly, if that doesn't work, then you most likely probably need cellular detox. That's a whole nother subject. Okay, the second big mistake is this. Your coffee in the morning could be throwing off your intermittent fast. So what do? Okay, you have your meter now. Hopefully you bought one, right? You test your glucose. This one, ketones doesn't matter as much. You test your glucose before your coffee. Drink your coffee the way you drink it, whether it's with fat, no fat, whatever it is. 30 minutes after your coffee, you retest it. Your glucose should not rise. If it rises, test about 3 days in a row. That way you get a good average. If it rises consistently, change something or your coffee or change coffee. So what I say, okay, if you're using fat, try black, because believe it or not, sometimes black coffee works better. Sometimes coffee with fats works better. It's different for everybody. If none of those things work, try decaf or try tea, maybe green tea, black tea. But the fact is if your glucose is rising, you're missing the point of intermittent fasting, because it throws you out of what we call autophagy. In the fast, that's where your body eats the bad cells and raises stem cells. That's why intermittent fasting actually works, and you get this hormone optimization. So if you're knocking that out by a rise in glucose, missing the point. You have to stop the rise. So your coffee may be screwing you up. So now you have a way of testing to see where your eating window is and fasting window is personally for you, and if your coffee's working. I hope this helps. I know it will, because I teach doctors around the country. We all use this method. It works. Try it.